Welcome back, everyone. This is Eltai, and here we are at the MMOs.com podcast. We had a long delay, but we're back now with episode 202, and I'm joined this week by
Omer.
All right. Lost my pacing there because it's been so long since we did this, you know?
I know. Your intro there was a little off, Altai.
Yeah, it feels weird, you know? It's been too long.
Well, we are back again, and we'll be resuming the podcast every Tuesday as we can. We were away overseas in the Orient, as Altai was saying in the pregame. We were in Hong Kong and China for a while, and we didn't do it over there. We didn't have our microphones, and we had like one laptop. It wasn't a practical setup for us to do the podcast or the weekly news recap, but both of those are back on the schedule. And we missed quite a bit. We didn't get to talk about BlizzCon. Most of the drama and stuff was discussed over there already. But there's a lot been happening in the MMO world these last couple of weeks, actually. So we do have plenty of things to talk about, some drama to dive into. First of all, let's start with what have you been playing, Alpha? Anything special lately?
Just Warcraft 3. It's been my main game. We played a bit last night, a bunch of old custom games, and besides that, I was talking to some kid here in Vancouver, and he is playing Pokemon Go, so I re-downloaded it. And what's amazing is he has almost no interest in the actual new Pokemon game, Sword and Shield. So he's like, I think he's like 10 or something. But for him, gaming is mobile. Like that is number one. You know, like that. Not just number one. That's the only avenue of gaming.
Wow.
Basically. So
it's so sad considering how much better the Pokemon, like other Pokemon games are versus Pokemon Mobile. Like I would have liked Pokemon Mobile if there was more. That game felt like an empty husk of a game, especially at launch. It's getting a bit better now. Like there's actually some stuff to do, like trading and like PvP and like more actual battles and stuff. When the game launched, there was literally nothing to do. But it's so sad that that's so popular compared to the other Pokemon games.
Man, they definitely added a bit more. Like you can trade now. You can there's like these daily quests. You can do like I don't know, like trade with somebody. You can trade items with people or give them gifts. So there you go.
Altai, I'm gonna one up you with your Warcraft 3. Okay, missed it with that new age. You're basically like a Zoomer playing Warcraft 3, all right? You're basically a baby. I played a little bit of Age of Empires 2 the other day, all right? The definitive edition version. That game came out in 1999, all right? I'm going to one up your 2002, 2001 RTS with a 1999 RTS, all right? There's something wrong when the games we play today are going back further and further back to the good old days. WoW Classic is huge. I'm looking forward to Warcraft 3 Reforged, and I'm playing Age of Empires 2 definitive edition. What's wrong with us, Altai? We're stuck in the past, and we're just literally on this podcast yelling about mobile games, how awful they are. But that's what everyone's playing.
Well, first of all, how is Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition? I've also I pre-purchased it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I do plan to play it.
It's much better than the HD edition, which was like some laggy hot mess in terms of like the netcode on Steam. I can never actually get HD edition working well. It looks beautiful and it runs really well. It plays much better. I played one round of multiplayer, most single player stuff. Kind of wish the AI was a little bit better on the single player campaigns and stuff, but it's good. I'm only because I'm a big nostalgic fan. I've played a lot of Empires 2 back in the day. It's fun.
All right, nice. It's like $20 though, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe if it goes on sale, we can have a big LAN party.
We got to play Command and Conquer like Red Alert when they remaster that one as well. All right, we got to keep going back further and further. And what's crazy is this age of like returning to nostalgia. It's happening in MMOs as well. I mean, a big announcement this last month has been the release of Arcade Unchained. It's not really like a classic version of the game, but a non-pay-to-win version of the game. And we've seen WoW Classic, of course. We've seen so many progression servers for these games as well. I mean, even older games have kind of found newfound popularity by doing these kind of progression servers. Like Ragnarok Online did a progression server, and they had thousands of players online. EverQuest 1 had progression servers. EverQuest 2 had a progression server. Like so many games, they don't really think about do progression servers. And I'm confident in the near future we're going to get a Nexon's MapleStory progression server.
Yes, that would be big.
100%. There are people out there today that are playing MapleStory on private servers because they don't like Big Bang. They want to play the game the way it was played back then. They like the grind, Like every step that MapleStory does makes the grind easier and easier, which is, I guess, okay for a mainstream audience. But some people want to sit down, turn their brains off, and literally grind. Okay, I mean, this last patch they did an update for MapleStory. Just like there's one coming out in 2 days, on the 20th. It's like one day actually. I forgot what day it is for a second. But they're adding a patch that's going to reduce the XP required from like 220 to 234 by another 25%. So if you play pre-Big Bang MapleStory, that game is unforgiving. All right, you die at like a high level, you lose like 5 hours worth of grind. So we're going to see more and more progression servers, more and more return to nostalgia, and the success of WoW Classic kind of proves that.
Indeed. And we had like you said, we missed a whole bunch of big announcements while we were in Hong Kong. Not only did we miss BlizzCon, which we'll talk about, but we missed League of Legends announcing their 10-year anniversary, and they announced like a bajillion new League of Legends games. That was pretty surprising. I thought we'd get 1 or 2. We got like 4 or 5.
You think that's surprising? So I mentioned in the chat to E Ballard at G-Star, Gravity announced 9 Ragnarok online games. Can you believe they pulled 9 games out of this franchise? Like, look, League of Legends, Riot Games pulling out like 4 games from the League universe, which has been the biggest like PC game in the world for like 10 years. Except maybe recently Fortnite was competing with it. Like, that's believable. But they pulled 9 games, and we've already had like 10 Ragnarok games in the past. They pulled 9 games from this franchise. Like, that is like the ultimate like milking of a franchise possible. They made a Ragnarok clicker, which they've already had, right? They had a Ragnarok clicker in the past. Now they have like a idle pouring clicker where you just like have a pouring that you click on. Like, what are they doing?
To be fair though, they've been desperate with Ragnarok for a while. They've been milking that for a while. But with Riot, I mean, they've been a one-trick pony for 10 years now. You know.
Yeah. So
do you know you have a list of how many games they announced?
I know that they're doing a fighting game.
They're doing a fighting game. They're doing a card game. They're doing a shooting game, like a hero shooter, basically.
That's kind of weird.
That is really weird.
That's the one that kind of caught me off surprise. The other ones kind of like fit with the League universe, but like I don't know. I just didn't visualize like an FPS, like a shooting game within the League universe.
It might be. I think they said third person. I'm not sure if it's first or third person, but it is a shooter.
So a lot of new games coming out. I mean, some of these are PC games as well. So there's definitely some hope. I mean, we've been talking quite a bit about how much mobile games are taking over the world. It's been kind of a recurring theme in the podcast. I mean, if you look at all the earnings calls for these companies, we're going to go over those this week as well. A lot of fun ones to go over this week. But seeing some PC games being announced is definitely big news. I mean, I like the fact that we've had a lot of big Pearl Abyss announced, a bunch of PC games as well. That's a big one. Maybe worth going over that one. I know I put the news on MMOs.com, but there's like 4 new games they announced.
Okay, so let's start with Pearl Abyss.
Okay.
I watched there's a prequel to Black Desert coming out called Crimson Desert. Yeah, very original name. And I actually love the trailer. And one of the interesting things about this game is going to be it's an MMO, but it's going to have basically a single player campaign, like this whole story mode campaign. And that's what the trailer really was about. I mean, I know we watched it together. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So what do you think? Successful? Not successful?
Honestly, I am optimistic on Pearl Abyss. I mean, the fact, remember we talked at least like a year ago now, but they made Black Desert Online with a budget of like $1 million, the engine for the game. I mean, they are a scrappy company. I mean, they're pretty big now. They've IPO, they're publicly traded, so like all their financials are public. But this company has gotten a lot done in the last few years. You know, we look at a company, all these Kickstarter bullshit companies that can't seem to release their current games, and we see big companies as well. Just they can't release games very quickly. Games just drag on forever. You know, Kingdom of the Fire 2 announced back in 2008 and finally came out like this month. But like this company announced like 4 games coming out like relatively soon in the next year or so. So I'm optimistic that Pearl Abyss can get shit done as a company. And for that reason, I think Crimson Desert will do well. I mean, the story looked pretty good. It looked like I was playing a single player like BioWare style RPG, like some story driven game. And it's gonna be an MMORPG as well. So it looks pretty legit.
Did anyone else get Game of Thrones vibes from this? Like,
oh, for sure. Every time they said the North, everyone's kind of like, at this point, if you hear the word the North, you're gonna think Game of Thrones.
But not just the name, but like the way the guy looks, like with the black hair, kind of like like me. But like, he kind of looks like the Rob or Bran or whatever. I don't know. I got some strong Game of Thrones vibes. Yeah, for sure. So all the trailers and stuff, I'm sure most of you guys have seen it already. If you haven't, we just kind of compiled all the trailers over there. This Plan 8, an exosuit MMO shooter. I'm not sure what that means. We've got an exosuit MMO shooter coming out. This Plan 8 is being one of the people leading the development is one of the co-makers of Counter-Strike, the original Counter-Strike. The thing is, like, that used to mean something, but then what was that one other game that Goosen, what was the guy's name that made the co-creator of Counter-Strike, made that game that launched on Steam, was an epic flop? Oh my god, somebody in this chat? I don't remember the name, but yeah, there's somebody in the chat. Shooter. There's a bullshit shooter that one of the co-creators of Counter-Strike made, and it went nowhere. All right, absolutely nowhere, complete flop. I'm trying to think of the name right now, but it's escaping. Listen, all right. Gooseman. His name was Gooseman, wasn't it? Gooseman, CS, Counter-Strike.
Min Lee was the guy's name. I'm gonna find the game name in a second, all right? Because for sure it's gonna come up on.
Yeah,
this,
you
on
find
the
the game name while I show you guys a trailer for another Perlibus game that I think looks pretty cool. This is like the childish kitty one. This is the one that I think we had some rumors about like last year even, but it is a PC game. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon. I'm not sure exactly what's gonna go be happening in this game, but it kind of reminds me of Pokemon. You summon these little dudes that help you fight stuff. Korean Pokemon. There you
go. Doke V, right?
Doke V or Doke 5? I don't know.
Doke 5. I mean, where's Doke 4? Where's Doke 3? Huh? It looks colorful. I like it. It looks different.
Sadly, this is only a cinematic trailer. Obviously, we don't have any graphics here. I wish we had some gameplay.
Yeah. The worst is when they show off trailers like this.
Oh, it's just
I want to see gameplay.
In-game footage, but it's probably just an in-game cinematic.
Yeah, these are not. These look like a cutscene.
Yeah.
So again, there's quite a few games coming out for Perlibus. They're getting some shit done. All right, respect for them. And Chat Arena as well is coming out. It's a fighting game. Our Arena Fantasy Fighter.
That one actually, I'm the least excited for. So this is Chat Arena. It's supposed to be some kind of medieval battle royale or something, right? I don't know.
Honestly, it seems like they really want to make a battle royale game on Black Desert, and like didn't really, I guess, go anywhere. So they kind of they want to make something standalone, I guess, with that concept maybe. But yeah, I'm not too excited for this one either. I'm looking forward to everything else on this list. I'm definitely excited for, like MMO shooter and Doke V as some kind of casual, even if it's like a hub world style game. It looks interesting.
But you know what's funny? I bet the Shadow Arena is gonna kill any hope that what's it called? That other battle royale has fantasy by those guys making that MMORPG. Apocalypse.
Asher Creation Apocalypse.
Creation Apocalypse. This is
that game. Hold on, we gotta talk. You brought it up. You brought the shit up. We gotta talk about this shit. All right. I think we called this a while ago. This is a complete and utter flop. Look at the games. Look at the Steam charts for Asher Creation Apocalypse. Literal 0. All right. We're down to 11 right now. All right?
11 boys.
All right. We're down to 11 players online, and honestly, it's probably like Mr. Sharif and his the guys at the office leaving the client running. Right. They want to boost the numbers. So there's the 10 employees all the employees that Asher Creation are leaving the game running just to goose the numbers, of course. All right. I don't blame them. If I had a game, I would leave the client running too to boost the numbers because. Honestly, what's interesting is what a lot of people do, and I'm sure many of you guys in chat do this. I know I do. I know my brother does it. When you want to play a game like this, you see a new game, the first thing I look at, I don't really care about the reviews. I don't mind playing shit games. In fact, I like playing shit games. So the first thing I'll do, I'll look at people who are playing the game. Yeah. I'll check Steam charts. I want to see if people are online. If nobody's online, it's an instant pass. You can't get a game of a battle royale with 11 players online. It's impossible. There's just not enough people in a single game. So because of that, this game is dead in water. There's no chance for this game to succeed. And I never bought the nonsense that they were saying earlier. Oh, it's just like a world for us to test our combat. This is going to help us develop the MMORPG. Yeah, bro. Then why is it that literally in the pre-alpha that you tested for this, there was already a cash shop? The first thing they added to the game was some kind of cash shop and some monetization strategy.
They got to test their payment system to see if it can accept money or more. Come on.
There you go. That's that part. If it wasn't available in beta, okay, that makes sense. But literally, the payment system and the microtransaction were built in at the beginning. That tells you when they designed this game, the first thing they thought of, they designed it around some kind of microtransaction model. So I ain't buying for a second this whole nonsense about it's just a place for us to test our mechanics. Bullshit. And honestly, as skeptical as I was for Asher Creation Apocalypse, I think I've said it quite a few times. I'm more optimistic for Asher Creation than I was for Chronicles of Illyria and many of the other vaporware Kickstarter games out there, especially because of how much money they raised and how much money Mr. Sharif himself personally has and can dedicate to this project. I mean, they have an office. They have 20 people at that office paying them a salary to work there. I mean, that shit is getting done. But seeing this game kind of dashed any hopes I had for the MMORPG. This is just like a lesson in just incompetence and just I don't understand the fact that why they even released this. At a certain point, you could just sat down and be like, okay, we played this game in-house. It sucks. Okay, whatever. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe it's a great game that we don't understand yet, all right? Maybe they thought it was great. They actually did an open beta for the game that ran for like 3 days or something, right? It was supposed to be a long open beta, but it only ran for 3 days, and they shut it down. And then they only ran the open beta every weekend, and they shut that down as well because nobody was playing it. And then they did a big launch recently, and of course, when all those open betas and all those playtests just kind of show you that nobody wants to play this game, why then do you launch it? You know, the best move they could have said was, you know what? We made this battle royale game. We collected a lot of useful data from players. We accomplished our mission by testing our mechanics, and now we're shutting it down. If they said that, okay, whatever.
Well, they did that actually. They actually wiped the Steam page, right? So
they
did what you said, but then for some reason they just brought it back, and then I don't know what they were expecting.
Yeah, I don't understand what they were thinking. This game, they knew from their playtest this wasn't going to go anywhere. They absolutely knew, and they're hoping for a miracle. Like they were splashing money as well, guys. But hold on, guys, listen for realsies. To any of the true Astro Creation believers out there, they were spending US dollars on advertising Astro Creation Apocalypse. Now, listen, guys, if this is merely a testing ground for their new mechanics and systems, why are they spending backer money, investor money, literal actual dollars on advertising Astro Creation Apocalypse? I saw Astro Creation Apocalypse ads on MMOs.com. They were spending money on MMOs.com for Astro Creation Apocalypse to drive more users to the game. That's not something you do for a product that you're using to test your mechanics out. Come on. Like, is anybody in the chat, is anybody buying that? It's crazy. I think a lot more people have realized, though, that this is getting a little more skeptical, a little more nonsense.
Well, we're gonna leave the Shadow Arena at Pearl Abyss to show them how it's done. All right, how a janky medieval battle royale is done. All right.
Well, because we mentioned Pearl Abyss. Maybe worth going over their earnings as well, which came out recently. Actually, this one's not too spicy. We'll skip this one. Spoilers: they make a lot of money on mobile. They made a little more money on PC because Pearl Abyss ended up buying CCP, which makes EVE Online and integrated with their earnings now. So they make a little more money on PC. But basically, all of Pearl Abyss's money comes from mobile games. But it's cool that all these new games they announced were PC games. These weren't mobile games, you know?
Also, we did get an actual date for the release of the Black Desert Mobile, finally.
Yes.
Global launch, December 11, not too far away. And this is pretty cool. If you pre-register the mobile version, which is free, you get a free copy of the PC or Xbox version of Black Desert, which still costs like $10, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So the game is basically free if you at this point, if you just pre-register for the mobile version.
The thing is, though, I feel like Black Desert has been kind of like on the fence free for a long time now. If you wanted to play the game for free, there were so many ways to do it. I know when they had the Shadow Arena, the Battle Royale mode in Black Desert Online, you could make a free trial account, and if you did if you tried the Battle Royale mode 3 times, you got the whole game for free. So they've done so many events where they give the game for free. So, I feel like at this point, Black Desert is basically free to play, and that paywall is there to stop like hackers at this point. Because if you get banned, you got to buy another $10, or wait for the next free event where you get the game for free. But then again, as Saffron mentioned too, you do have to spend money in game to get the full experience, having pets and stuff to help you loot. Because when you're killing that many enemies, that brings me a good point though with the looting system in Black Desert Online. I feel like some games like Black Desert Online and MapleStory are perfect examples of this like design, where they designed the loot system to really like to kind of force you to spend money. There's no way they thought that was a good idea if they didn't want to design it to milk you out of money, because you kill so many enemies in Black Desert Online that looting becomes like very difficult if you're playing as a free user with no pets. And in MapleStory, when you blow up the whole screen, there's a million items on the ground. Like, what is this? Like, they designed the loot system in both these games as a monetization strategy, which is very weird. It feels kind of like unfair or like disingenuous.
Well, I don't mind it because it's actually not as bad as the inventory space.
That's also bullshit.
Well, I mean, you got to get people through the door, free to play, right? And before Black Desert, people have been monetizing inventory space, right? That was a huge restriction, And to be fair, in Black Desert, especially at the beginning, a lot of the loot is pretty useless. So it's not like you're missing much.
True.
I mean, it's only when you're actually trying to farm for like silver, like late game, and you got to kill everything in bulk. I think the game is totally enjoyable. Right, you're not gonna min max if you're not auto looting. I get that, right? But the game is totally enjoyable.
Yes, but it feels like they're taking away such a core part of the game. Like literally, looting becomes like a huge hassle for you later on.
Wasn't that the same issue we had in MapleStory, even back in the old days?
Well, again,
you had to buy a pet to.
Yes, exactly what I said. Yeah,
okay,
it was a disaster. Could you blow up the screen?
It wasn't a disaster. We enjoyed it.
It was bad. Listen. Here's the thing. Somebody said no shit, but here's the deal, guys. I would rather Black Desert or MapleStory literally sell pay-to-win weapons, where you can just literally buy gear for US dollars. That's more honest to me than designing your systems in the game around milking players. where it's literally inconveniencing you in such a weird way. Just sell pay-to-win weapons. I'm more okay with selling outright best weapons in the game for cash than I am with literally designing the game to frustrate players. Because one, you don't have to buy, as long as like there's no enemy in the game that literally requires best weapon to kill. Like it's impossible to kill that best enemy in the game without that weapon. That's fine. If it takes you too long to level up, that's fine.
No, I think the trend is, and the accepted norm is, you can pay for convenience, but not power. So this follows the same thing. You could technically loot one by one. No, right? No one's stopping you.
I get that's a trend. I would personally rather a game.
I disagree. I think once
sell
you see
power.
No, I disagree. Once you see the facade, like once the mask is gone like that, and you just see the power, like the whole paying for convenience is like is actually hiding the fact that you're paying for power, right? It's an indirect way of paying for power if you can pay for convenience.
That's true.
So it obscures it. So if you can actually just show, if people can just pay for power, they won't play.
But here's a convenience thing. Like, if you pay for convenience, I get that. That's fair. Like in MapleStory, if you pay for the teleportation rocks, they teleport anywhere in the world like instantly. That's a huge convenience. But it doesn't feel like the game world was designed to force me to buy that. The same way it does for looting in MapleStory, where you have to have the pets. Otherwise, it becomes like, what am I doing? Literally, if you see anyone play MapleStory, like the whole screen is full of bags of cash because nobody wants to pick that shit up.
Quality gameplay features. All right.
It just like it feels like was designed to like frustrate players into spending money, and I don't know. There's a borderline between frustration and convenience, and arguably the hyper teleportation rock is way more useful in MapleStory. By the way, like if you choose between a pet that lets you loot MapleStory or hyper teleportation rock for free, the rock is so much better. It lets you teleport anywhere in the game world, saves a lot of time. But the design behind that seems better than the design behind the loot system, which is designed to frustrate players.
Honestly, I actually think the tiny inventory space is a bigger deal than the auto looting stuff. But I think at the end of the day, look, these companies have to make money more. So I'd rather they sell this.
That's why I said make them pay to win. I said I'm okay with selling pay to win weapons.
I don't want to. I don't want to pay for a sword that's like the best sword in the game. That's gay.
You can already do that all the time. You can already do that. Every game, you can basically do that by paying players in game to get you the weapon. Well,
good,
nothing stops RFK anyway.
There's more steps though.
I don't know.
All right, let's talk about League. No, we already talked about it. There's nothing else to talk about, right? You said there was some gameplay footage from the beta for the card game, but the rest of them have nothing, no gameplay, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's really nothing else to show. There's a few other big topics I wanted to cover this week. We got to talk about Kingdom of the Fire 2, Altai. I got a little bit of a rant for this one. We got to talk a little bit about Kingdom of the Fire 2. This game, it finally launched, by the way. Link you the launch trailer you can see on MMOs.com. So this is a bit odd because this game was announced back in 2008, boys. It's been 11 years since Kingdom of the Fire 2 was announced. And all of a sudden, guys, Gameforge, a Western company, came out and launched this game out of nowhere, basically. They announced the thing last month, a couple months ago, when they were going to launch it. It happened. And it's weird because this game had its closed beta in like 2011, so 3 years after the first announcement. And basically since then, it's been kind of dead. Like it was playable in certain formats throughout the years, like in different regions and servers. And those versions kept shutting down. And I think 2 years ago, they announced this blueprint. The developer themselves announced a blueprint to launch in Southeast Asia, in Russia, and then eventually the US. And they missed all those deadlines. So the initial, even like the late schedule for this game to launch by its own developer, they missed all those deadlines. And all of a sudden, Gameforge is like, you know what? We need a new game to launch. Where can we find a new game? Oh, Kingdom of the Fire 2. Let's go get this game that basically shut down everywhere in the world, that nobody really plays anymore because it never actually fully came out. Let's go license that one. That's the game we got to license, and that's the game we got to launch. But sir, no one's gonna like that game. It's like, it's not fully complete yet. There's clearly some problems with that game. Otherwise, it would have launched in its home market. Ain't no problem. Let's go make it buy to play instead of free to play, so we can milk all that money up front. Genius, sir. Let's do it. So they're pulling almost like a Bless Online in the monetization strategy, where they took this free to play game, and it was never quite finished. Even Bless was never quite finished because it's a laggy hot mess in this home market. And they're making it buy to play in the West, starting at $30. Now, some initial reactions I think were clearly a bit better for Kingdom of the Fire 2, but I haven't played it since the Gameforge version launched. But the fact that it was launched, it was originally announced in 2008, first closed beta test in 2011, and missed all their deadlines for their global launches. And out of nowhere, Gameforge, of all companies, launched this game. That's just weird. If the developer themselves, like, you know what, guys, we're going to launch it ourselves. I get that. That's fine. That makes sense. But it's weird that Gameforge now is launching this game. It's weird. What do you think?
It is strange. And did you know more? It's actually out on Steam too. It's not just
I know, of course.
So it's actually got 400 people playing right now on Steam. I'm curious how many people will remain playing this game in like a week.
2 weeks. Honestly, this numbers that's not a very impressive start at all. I mean, 500 people for this
I mean,
game?
honestly, it's more than I thought it would be, which is, I don't know if that's a good. I don't know if that, take that for what it's worth.
No, but here's they were. It's not like for example, Critica Reboot, right? That game also launched just like this last week, right? And they launched with 3,000 players on the first weekend, and they're 2,500 players on it right now. It's just a reboot of Critica Online, but by the developers themselves. So, and Critica Reboot, spoiler guys, spent zero money on advertising. How do I know this? I ain't seen the ads on MMOs.com for them. That's a good way to tell who's advertising. If you see ads on MMOs.com, that company's spending money. Kingdom of the Fire 2, they bought like the site skins. They splashed good money around both on MMOs.com and other websites. So they spent money advertising their game. And not only that, if you kept an eye on Twitch, they paid a lot of Twitch streamers to play the game as well. There was some sponsored streams for the game. In fact, I've only seen sponsored streams for Kingdom of the Fire 2 when I looked at it. I'm sure there's some actual people playing now too. But it just somebody said they probably got the license dirt cheap. Yeah, they did. But there's a reason the license was probably dirt cheap, because nobody else was publishing this game. The developer didn't even publish it themselves, which leads me to think it seems like a cash grab based on their business model.
Yes.
If it was a free-to-play game, it's whatever. It was made free-to-play in Korea. It's free-to-play here. That's fine. But they made it buy-to-play, and it's like a 12-year-old game now.
You know what here's the curious part. So I'm reading some reviews on Steam. Some people are positive, most are negative. One guy's saying, okay, it's not bad. There's some problems, but they can be fixed. But here's the problem. Can they be fixed? Does GameForge have access to the code? Do they have the code base? Can they actually change things? Or are they just taking what, it was frozen in time when the Koreans gave up on it and just kind of pushing it out there? Like, are the bugs in the game fixable? Like, do the people at GameForge have the capacity and access to the code to actually fix it? I don't know. That would be interesting to know.
Yeah, and people are saying the translations are atrocious as well.
Yeah,
like, there's so many little things
that part doesn't really bother me, to be honest.
Well, the one thing GameForge can do is do the translations. When you license a game, one of the few things as a publisher you're supposed to do is at least fix the grammar errors and translate the game. The localization is what the publisher's supposed to do. The bug fixes are what the developer's supposed to do.
But there is no developer anymore, is there?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the developer's still around, but it's just weird that the game doesn't exist anywhere else except now this English version. I'm pretty sure the Chinese version shut down, the Taiwanese version shut down. I'm not sure about the Korean version, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist either, because I remember checking the Wikipedia page for the Korean version. I couldn't find it. So, like you said, I don't think these problems are fixable, because it's only what GameForge themselves can do. I mean, GameForge is a pretty big company. They're owned by some huge German conglomerates, so they clearly can do some stuff. They were playing a lot with the code they can do some stuff, obviously, but I'm not optimistic on what they can actually do. And this was a big financial boondoggle. This is actually one of the most expensive games ever developed, according to the own developer. They spent over $75 million making this game, and it basically didn't go anywhere. Oh, thank you for that sub, ZGW. 5 months in a row. Much love. Isn't Blue Side the developer officially bankrupt? I don't know. I mean, let's find out.
I don't think they're bankrupt, but I don't think they have anything going for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just floating in a...
Yeah, it's just weird that this I find it so strange and almost like misleading to a degree to have this game without like mentioning the background behind it. I mean, obviously, GameForge has no incentive to talk about like the checkered history of this game, and they advertise with us too. So I mean, we should be too negative with them, but we're keeping it real. Like if you look at the Korean website for this game, let's see what it says. Kingdom of the Fire 2, the Han game. Is this even playable? Here's the official. Black Desert made about 1 million. By the way, this is the official Korean publisher for Black Desert for Kingdom of the Fire 2. I linked it in Twitch chat. Well, you know, guys, it's coming soon. How is the Korean version coming soon, and every other version shut down and not accessible? But for some reason, the Western version is available, but the Korean version is not. Also, the Russian version, which is supposed to be by 4Game, I'm pretty sure they just shut that down completely. I think they completely gave up on it. Where originally, the Korean developer basically said, we want to release the Russian version for a Korean version, Southeast Asian version, Russian version, then English version. But the only version that's playable is the English version. What happened to the rest? They all shut down. They all failed. And then we get the buy-to-play scraps left over. It just seems like a last-ditch effort to monetize the game is what it seems like. I mean, it seems so obvious. It's cash grab at this point.
Yes, I agree. It is.
And it's just weird. It's kind of sad. Because the game tried to do some unique stuff, you know? Yeah, so again, I'm looking at the Wikipedia article, and this is when, there was a lot more excitement for this game in early 2017, when they kind of re-announced new release schedules, and like, this game isn't dead, we're going to do it. But MMOG Asia announced that beta for Kingdom of the Fire 2 from May 22nd, 2014, and then they shut it down literally like 1 month later, actually, which is remarkable. So the beta was in May 22, 2014. Developer revealed that there would be no data wipes after the launch of a beta, and very shortly after they shut it down in 2017 permanently. And it looks like the Russian version never actually launched. So I am not optimistic on what's going on with this game.
I think there was a period in the mid 2000s when a couple of different studios were trying this blend of RTS and MMO, which is what Kingdom Under Fire 2 does. If you can't tell by the gameplay video we showed, it's basically lots of units you're fighting at a time. You're these huge battles, but you're also commanding these soldiers, NPC armies. So basically, it's trying to mix RTS and MMO elements. There were a few games that tried stuff like this. I think they all flopped. Right? I don't think any of them actually succeeded. And I don't think this one is gonna do it either. I think the tech is too old. I don't know what engine they're using, but it's probably not anything new. So I just don't think it's a viable product.
All right. And enough shitting on that for now. I got a bit of a story, Altai. All right, a little bit of a story. All right. It deals with an issue we talk about quite a bit on this stream: harassment and player behavior in MMORPGs. All right. So somebody messaged me, sent me an email actually on at Omer@MMOs.com. I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you, Altai, and let's see what you think. All right. So basically, somebody messaged me saying that they were getting harassed in ArcAge Unchained. All right, they came to me. I'm not sure why they came to me, and they wanted me to kind of cover the harassment on MMOs.com to shed light on this great injustice in ArcAge Unchained. So here's the email. I'm not showing you who sent the email, so we respect the privacy over here. All right, boys. So,
all right.
I just thought this was really odd because he emailed us, and we're the guys that for a long time have said basically we don't want players to get banned over talking shit in games. So what happened here was this guy's basically saying he wants to bring light to that ArcAge allows toxic players in their game. So he's complaining that people are being mean to him in the game, and they're vote kicking him from dungeons, from instances in the game, and it's actually a violation of the TOS. And and the GMs aren't doing anything about it. And he wants us to shed light on this issue. And unfortunately for him, I replied to this guy, and I thought about it. Wait a minute. I replied to this guy saying basically buck up. What the fuck? If you're getting kicked out of your group, you're probably doing something wrong. All right. Or if somebody's being mean to you, go block them. It wasn't the answer it was not the answer he was expecting, but I feel like I had to give him tough love. What do you think?
It's very odd that he's complaining about. So there's two complaints here.
Yes.
One holds very little value, which is in game being vote kicked or whatever, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
But the second part, which I think more companies might have an issue with in the future, is the Discord channel. If you as a company are running your official Discord channel, now you are responsible for everything that goes on in there, right? So this is why maybe sometimes having a third party, Reddit run by someone else or whatever, or unofficial Discord servers might be better because then you're not immediately responsible. So I'm curious if you go into a Discord channel of ArcAge and you start doing illegal stuff, literal let's say CP, or you're just trading CP, how much of that falls on ArcAge now?
I don't think any of it.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's just interesting to think that there's twofold issues here. One, harassment in game, which is not real harassment, right? Because it's just vote kicking. It's not like they're
also if you're harassing in the game with even messages, you just block them. Problem solved.
Right, but presumably
if you block them on Discord too.
Yeah, you can block them on Discord, but it depends on what they're posting. I don't know. It's just weird. It's interesting.
And what's interesting to me is when I play Final Fantasy 14, I have seen numerous occasions where people are complaining that they're being no joke, guys. People tell me people are complaining Final Fantasy 14 that I'm being stalked in game. What can I do? I'm like, are you fucking serious? Just fucking block them or teleport somewhere else. Who cares? They're like, no, you don't get it. They follow me everywhere I go. I'm like, okay, just go somewhere else and ignore them. Like, how can you be stalked in a game? And woe is me. And they're asking GMs for help. Like, are you? How could? I'm just laughing. Like who? What kind of person you have to be be so worried that being followed in game by an avatar?
I think it's attention seeking. I think they're just doing it on purpose. They want attention.
Maybe.
I don't think they're legitimately worried.
Yeah, it's really strange that people say that, and sometimes unironically that they're saying they're being stalked in a game. Really, I feel like this whole almost the SJW narrative of safe spaces. I don't want to get too much into SJW nonsense, but I think a lot of the left wing stuff on the SJW stuff is actually there's pretty good nuanced argument for some of that stuff. But a lot of that is kind of creeping into games in such a weird way, where the idea, I'm afraid in the future that griefing somebody in a game can get you banned eventually.
Definitely.
Like for example, like World of Warcraft, for example, has Blizzard actually pretty good with the World of Warcraft. In a PvP server, if you corpse camp somebody, that's not bannable. It's part of the game. It's unfortunate. Like they even say, like, too bad. You're gonna be uncomfortable getting like ganked or camped. But that's perfectly allowed in World of Warcraft, even today, Altai. But in Overwatch, things like not picking meta can get you banned nowadays. If you're not playing with your team, and even if you're playing to win, there have been players that got banned for playing non-meta roles, as long as the whole team reports them.
Well, didn't they just didn't Overwatch just change the whole thing where there's only 2 of each role now? 2-2-2?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so in Overwatch, someone in chat can answer this. Can you still change heroes, or are you locked in from the beginning? I think that's the next thing to go. Switching roles is going to go, I think.
It seems like a big part of the game.
I don't know. I think it's going to go.
Team's play style. I can't go. No, that's like they said for a long time. That's one of the key features in Overwatch. But it does seem like because WoW is older, it kind of grandfathered into the old like mindset where griefing players in game is allowed, and stuff like in EVE Online, griefing is allowed. But I am worried that in new games, literally griefing other players is going to become a bannable offense, even though it's allowed in the mechanics. I'm afraid that's going to be the future.
Yes, I think you're right.
So you can change heroes, but not roles. So you are stuck in certain roles.
Yes, the roles are locked from the beginning.
Interesting.
No, I think even that's going to change. I think even that will change. You'll be stuck with the hero you pick.
It just this coddling behavior, I think, is going to really screw up some games in the future. So it's definitely a bit odd.
First of all, I don't think it's going to screw games up. I think multiplayer will be like mobile games today. Multiplayer, asynchronous multiplayer. Any possibility of interacting, any possibility of a bad experience will be eliminated. And anytime you interact with another human, there's always a possibility of a bad experience, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, if I'm right, there will be no possible way to interact with another player in future games.
But the thing about that is, yes, I can see where you're coming from, but it just seems like even with the negatives, the fact that like there are no triumphs or amazing experiences without the negative experiences. You need the negative experiences along with like imagine you play Overwatch and every game everyone's like, wow, you're so great. Imagine everyone just like cheering you on every game you play. Like it wouldn't be fun.
Sure would.
If you need to have like the ups and downs. The fact what makes any game, whether it's MMORPG, Overwatch, anything, is the ups and the downs. You can't have the positives without the negatives. There are no positives without the negatives. That's why games like League can get people so up in arms. Counter-Strike Go.
Do you think if League came out today, it would allow things like chat even? I think
if League came out today, there would be no cross-team chat.
Yeah, there'd be no
just like here's the storm.
Yeah,
but there would be team chat for sure.
I don't know. I think there'd be. I think if League came out today, it would be a lot like what's it called, Arena of Valor in terms of player interaction.
Yeah, there would be less. You would not be able to communicate with an enemy team. That's off by default now, but you can still do it.
I don't know. We'll see. League of Legends Mobile is coming out soon, and I wonder what the player interaction, parameters will be in that one.
I mean, Nominous Wanderer, that's not a conspiracy. That's reality. I mean, Nominous Wanderer says, big brain conspiracy here. This is why they are developing the tech to drop AI into PvP matches. Eventually, all online games will be secretly single player. It's not secret. I mean, it is. They're trying to keep it secret, but that's reality. If you've played any of those mobile shooters, like if you play PUBG Mobile, spoilers, guys, you're playing against bots. The game doesn't tell you you're playing against bots. So basically, when you start playing, if it's like 100 players in the game, like 80% or 90% are bots. As you keep winning and getting better, they replace more bots with players. So what happens when you have a game with 10 real players and like 90 bots is everyone's experience is better because they feel like they're gods killing all these shitty bots. And they adjust the number of bots to player ratio as you get better and better and better. So everyone just has this positive experience. And they're doing this without telling players. Their AIs and it's not just mobile games. You guys remember what was that game? The guys at High Res Studios, Paladins had their first PvP games against bots, and they didn't tell you they were bots. So for sure, we'll have AI replacing players dynamically and adjusting that to maximize the player experience to be positive, which I think is going to backfire and create like no meaning in these games.
I don't think it will backfire. I think they'll make a lot more money. That's what's going to happen.
Maybe. I mean, it's working for a lot of these mobile games, clearly.
So, Isaiah said in chat, one thing I hate about League Chat is how people will lie to the other team to get the report. I do this all the time in games I play. If someone's annoying me on my team, at the end of the game, right before the game ends, I'll be like, "Hey guys, great game. Can you guys do me a favor and report this guy on my team? He's been saying racist stuff to me all game in chat. It's really, really was rude." And he'd be like, "No, I wasn't. This guy's lying."
Honestly, the big brain play is the big brain play in League and Dota is like every time the enemy team makes a mistake, you have to get the other team to bandwagon on that guy. So like if you win a team fight, for example, and there's one like the top laner wasn't there, and you win a team fight 45, you say like in all chat, "Lol, good thing that the top Singe wasn't there or something, or that the top Akali wasn't there." And they're like, "Oh shit, you're right, he wasn't there." And then their whole team will be ganging up on that one guy who wasn't there. And like it kind of destroys the team from within. You want to give the enemy team an excuse. Because everybody wants an excuse, and they'll probably be looking for it themselves too. But when the enemy team acknowledges the reason that you want to fight was because the other guy wasn't there, the enemy team will eat that shit up and destroy themselves from within. That's not bannable, Isaiah 12. That's not. No, you can say good thing this other player wasn't here, and then that's fine. Enemy team will jump on that right away. And somebody says, you can get reported for saying GG nowadays. I think what was you have to say if you say GG easy, you can get banned. It's gotta be you gotta put the easy in there. If you just say GG, you're fine. The easy is what gets you banned. All right.
Here's a fun, somewhat related story.
Mm-hmm.
So DeepMind, I think we could all this year and last year, DeepMind has been working with StarCraft 2 to make an AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now they I don't know. I think we announced it like a few months ago where they were actually putting DeepMind in on matches that players were queuing for. So you get a chance to queue against the AI without knowing who you were fighting.
Mm.
So now they're saying DeepMind is Grandmaster level, better than 99.8% of players with all three races, and with much more restricted parameters. For example, they can't see like everything on the map. They can only see what's on the screen, just like a player, right? And they got to move around the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're playing, let's say you're playing StarCraft, right? And your opponent leaves the match, but instead of telling you the opponent leaves the match and just ending the game, because that can be annoying sometimes, right? You're like halfway through a game, somebody leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
The AI takes over right where that player left off at his rank, and you keep playing the match. Wouldn't that be cool?
But here's the problem, Altai. That would lead to a whole like new sling of insults, where you could be like, you could tell people, "Oh God, can you please leave so we get the AI to take over because you're shit," like, like that'd be such a good insult to leave. Like, "Oh, you're doing really bad this game. I don't know what's going on. Like, you're probably stressed out. Just leave the game and let the AI take over."
Well, can you imagine in League? Okay, so maybe in StarCraft is a bad example because in StarCraft, once one player leaves, the game ends with a victory.
Yeah.
But imagine in League of Legends where if a teammate leaves on one of the teams, he screws the game up for 9 players, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if he leaves and you immediately gets controlled by an AI. It would kind of save a lot of games, I feel.
Mm-hmm. All right, Altai, I want to talk a little bit about the most remarkable statistic I read all month. All right, Altai? Let's see if we find it. So the average revenue per download for a mobile game, Lineage M, is astounding. This is the most astounding statistic I read all month. So guys, the average revenue per download of Lineage M is $279 with over 8.2 million downloads. Remember, this is average revenue per download, not per paying user, per active user. This means if you downloaded the game, even for a second on your phone, you just downloaded it. On average, you spent $279. Wow. That counts people that played the game for 2 seconds and the people that play it all year. This is the largest figure I've seen for any mobile game. And this isn't just a game with like 500 downloads. It has 8.2 million downloads. This game made over 2.3 billion in revenue since launching in 2017. So just to put that number in perspective again, if this game was available as a buy-to-play game, okay, as a retail price, sticker price, you buy once, play forever, no cash shop. If they had that business model and they charged $250 for the game, and they sold a remarkably successful 8.2 million copies of the game at $250 each, they'd still make less money than being free to play. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Because like, if they charge $250, and if you sell 8.2 million copies in like a year or 2 years since the game launched, that's a runaway success. Very few games get that many sales. Very few. You'd be one of the best-selling games if you sold 8.2 million copies at $250 a pop. You are still better off being free to play than you are charging $250. That is absolutely nuts.
And look at this amazing game you're getting for that amazing price, guys. Wow. Can you believe these graphics?
There you go, Pock. If you're curious, give it a try. But watch out, Pock. If you download the game, on average, they're gonna get you for $279. All right, game of the year right there. So it is astounding to me that they can make that kind of money from a mobile game. And this is why, guys, we're going to see more and more mobile games. You know, there's no like, it's crazy. When companies look at this, why are we selling our game for $60 one-time fee when this goddamn mobile game that looks like it's from 1999, which by the way, it is like from 1999. It's a remake of the original Lineage game, is making $27 per download. So these mobile games are absolutely insane how much money they can make. And this is the craziest one.
Boys, we got to make a mobile game. We got to make some money.
Remember, this was the exceptional example, right?
Yeah.
This exception on the same article though. Lineage 2 Revolution. Remember that game, guys? That was like they literally paid Shroud. They paid literally every big Twitch streamer to play this game. But like that 1 week, everybody was playing Lineage 2 Revolution because everyone got some of that NCSoft money except MMOs.com. People said we didn't get that money. But this game has much more downloads, right? Lineage 2 Revolution has 30.5 million downloads, unique downloads. Okay, on average, they made $57 per download. But that's over 30 million downloads. That's still insane. It made over $1.7 billion in revenue. And I think the only reason the revenue per download is lower is they literally paid every streamer to advertise the game. And that brought in a lot of casuals to the game that played for 5 minutes like, what the hell is this they uninstalled? So, and even with that, it's $57. I downloaded this game, by the way, guys. I think Alta downloaded it. So we spent $0, by the way. So we brought down the average. But the average per download is $57.
You know why? It's 3D. You got to go with the 2D look of this OG Lineage, guys. That's where it's at.
Also, here's the remarkable. This is amazing too. If we look at the best-selling video games of all time, Altai, all time, and we look at Lineage, if we assume Lineage Revolution was a retail copy, available at $60, how much would it sell? You think? Where in the list would it be? Would it be high up on the list?
Say it again. Repeat that.
Okay, so let's look at the list of best-selling video games of all time. All right. And if we look at the total downloads for this game, and we assume each of these downloads is a purchase, all right? Every download equals one $60 purchase for a full budget game. Where would it be on the list of best-selling games in terms of units?
For Lineage 2 or 1?
This Lineage 2 with 30.8 million downloads.
Oh, it would be, well...
It's going to be pretty high on that list all time.
Yeah. Probably top 10.
Look at this list. So I gave a list of the best-selling video games of all time. So if we put Lineage 2 Revolution on this list, it would be above Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And that game was released God knows how many times, all right? And some of these don't really count. Like Wii Sports doesn't really count. It was included with every copy of Wii, you know? And the thing is, if we look at the 30.5 million downloads, guys, the game made average $57 per download. The average revenue per user is actually higher than any other game on this list. The average Minecraft user doesn't spend $57. The average Tetris player only pay like $20 at launch, and that's it. Grand Theft Auto 5 probably has a higher average revenue per user. But like, a lot of these other games are one-time buys, you know? And the price went down after release. Whereas this is $57 per download. It's insane. This is why you're going to see more mobile games as free-to-play. Free-to-play isn't like... You make more money as a free-to-play game than as a full-budget game. There's more money in a free-to-play than there is as a retail price.
Especially in mobile.
Mm-hmm. World's going to go like this in the future. No cost. But here's the thing, too. But that's why I think I've been saying for a long time, when it comes to like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, I am okay with companies like Square Enix just doing a bit more monetization. I'm okay if they put more like stuff in the cash shop and do a little more. They do more microtransactions. But people go up in arms the second there's even one iota of like extra convenience for paying players in a game like Final Fantasy XIV. But we have to give them that slack. If you don't give them that slack, they're going to make only mobile games because they can make so much more money in mobile games.
Speaking of mobile games, I think we're gonna continue to see some classic MMORPG names that we know, from PC era go to mobile. Like this week, Handbitsoft announces Granada Espada Mobile. So this is a game that was pretty different than a lot of other MMORPGs for its era. And the shtick here was you control 3 characters at once. Mm-hmm. So the gameplay is obviously not from the mobile version. There is no gameplay of the mobile version yet. Mm-hmm. It's from the actual PC version. But it's good to see a game like this at least get somewhat revived, right? This was one of my...
It's an oldie.
It's one of the better, I think, free-to-play MMORPGs of that era.
26 months in a row. Much love, Kineris. Thank you for the happy birthday. Much love.
Oh, well, you're in the big 3-0 club now, right?
I am. I am. Oof. I'm level 30 now, boys. Level 30 IRL. I am no longer in my level 20s. I officially job changed to oldie, the boomer. I'm no longer young, boys. But yeah, the Granada Espada Mobile, I don't think it's going to be a particularly big hit, but we're going to see basically every game, every franchise on mobile. Also, I was talking about Final Fantasy 14 earlier and mobile games. Let's take a look at the Square Enix earnings presentation for this November 7th, 2019. This is for the latest quarter. It's for the third quarter of 2019, though. Very confusing because they refer to it as their second quarter of fiscal year 2020. They got a different fiscal year than a calendar year. Don't worry about it. It's referring to the quarter 3 of 2019. So what's interesting here is Final Fantasy 14 still makes pretty good money, boys. Still makes surprisingly pretty good money. If you scroll down, you can see on slide number 9, you'll see their HD Games revenue. They had no major releases this last quarter, so you're not going to see any big numbers there. For the digital entertainment and MMO revenue, you can see on slide 10.
Wow, look at that big boost.
Look at a big boost is because of the new expansion for Final Fantasy 14 finally got included in their data. The last quarter was not really the launch period. They kind of captured the early access period, but the official launch was in this last quarter, I think July or something. So it was just in that quarter. They're up to 13.6 billion yen in revenue. I'm gonna give you I'll give you that in American because it's more relevant that way. But it's making some decent money. Making some decent money for a change. And it's because I think the subscription numbers are an all-time high as well, which is pretty good for them. So that comes out to $120 million for the quarter in this last quarter, which is about $30 million a month, $40 million a month actually. And their operating income is going to be still pretty high. Their profitability is definitely not bad. More interestingly, if you look at their profitability for the operating income for mobile games versus MMOs, they actually make more profit from their Steady Eddie MMO than they do on their mobile games.
Let's see. This is a chart I always like for these game companies. What % of their sales are digital? So disc versus digital. Let's see here. For this quarter, we got in Japan. Well, they still have a million discs. Even in America, 2.3 million disc sales.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here's a funny point. That half the income is people buying race chains to become a Viera, which was the new race in Shadowbringers. I'm sure a lot of people do that. I kind of wish they broke down the numbers between monthly subscriptions and microtransactions. That'd be a really interesting statistic to hear, but they never break it down. I think sometimes I think WoW broke it down once, and it was surprisingly high for microtransactions, but these guys don't break it down. But MMOs, at least Final Fantasy 14 on the PC as an MMO, is still doing surprisingly well in terms of their numbers. And honestly, I'm okay with them if they want to monetize a little bit more at the cash shop. I think we as players should let it shouldn't get too upset over stuff like that, because otherwise the alternative future is all mobile games.
Look, this is my favorite Square Enix product, guys. The old arcade
the slot machines.
Yeah, slot. What is this? What is going on here, boys? Is this supposed to be golf?
Yeah, I think people don't realize, but Square Enix makes money off those arcade machines. They make money off publications as well. They're a manga publisher as well. They own a manga app. Their manga publishing division did pretty well this quarter as well, but the numbers are still nowhere near what they make from mobile games and PC games. I mean, Woozy TV, I've been saying that for a while. I mean, I don't like pay to win, but I still defend generally fair stuff companies can do to monetize. It just seems like every time a company tries to monetize a bit more, people go up in arms. No matter how much how fair it seems. They're not jumping the shark or doing something really crazy, making completely pay to win. It's over very small things people get very upset over. But nobody seems to get upset over mobile games where people go full on pay to win. So it's very strange. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's been happening with Square Enix. While we're on the earnings discussion, worth mentioning, Nexon as well came out with their earnings, which I thought was fairly interesting. And as Activision Blizzard, firstly, Nexon's numbers, the real big highlight for Nexon is that MapleStory's revenues are at an all-time high, guys. Can you believe that? Look at this chart. It's kind of hard to see, but if you right-click, open image, and new tab alt, you'll see it. MapleStory life-to-date revenue trend. You see that?
Let's see. Yeah, I see it.
Showed off on stream. So you can see in 2003 when MapleStory came out in South Korea. I mean, there's no X and Y axis on this chart, but there's the X axis and the Y axis for the total revenue. But there are estimates for MapleStory revenues. But the game's revenue, it's a 16-year-old game, guys. But this last quarter, MapleStory made more money than any other period of the game's history, which is incredible for a 16-year-old game. Even MapleStory M is making money, but just the PC version of MapleStory is still absolutely killing it. Basically, Nexon as a company is Dungeon Fighter Online is their biggest success. After that, it's MapleStory. And MapleStory is huge in South Korea. Even the American version, Nexon America, the most popular Nexon America game is still MapleStory. I mean, throughout all these years, when Nexon kept making shit games and launching new games and trying new games, the only game that was actually really busy was always MapleStory.
I think this is still always worth looking at, and it amazes me. So if you look at Nexon's revenue by region, 45% is Korea, 34% is China, 6% Japan, 6% North America, and 9% the rest of the world. It's so small. It's so small outside China and Korea.
Yeah, Nexon is basically a Korea-China company. All of North America is 6%. Remember, it's 6% after they've made some big acquisitions. Nexon bought like 3 gaming companies in America. They bought some mobile studio that makes these really weird stories games.
Yes, I think they're called stories, right?
Yeah. It's like there's so many ridiculous ads for those games too. So they increased their North America revenue by buying other companies, and it's still such a tiny fraction. Though PC gamers represent though. If you look at their 74% of revenues are from PC versus only 26% from mobile. So Nexon is still very much a PC company because of Dungeon Fighter Online and MapleStory. That's true as well, Freezing Tiles. I think gaming has become more inclusive now. We got a lot more female gamers, girl gamers. Many of them on Twitch these days. Selling premium Snapchats nowadays. It's good business model.
It's all about TikTok now, right?
Yeah, is it? All right, we gotta mention one more. Mention Activision Blizzard real quick too. They had a fun statistic as well, and once again has to do with mobile. So you can see this kind of covers all their big franchises. Blizzard had monthly active users of 33 million. The fun stat here was in Q3, World of Warcraft Classic drove the biggest quarterly increase to subscription plans in the franchise's history in both the West and the East. So WoW Classic led to a greater increase in WoW subscriptions than at any other point in the game's history. So WoW Classic definitely off to a strong start there. And they said it's continuing into the Q4. They reveal Shadowlands, obviously. But the fun slide here is the third quarter 2019 segment results. So get that in big.
Way ahead of you. Way ahead
of me. All right, walk us through these numbers, Altai.
All right, so we have 3 different divisions for Activision Blizzard, right? We got Activision, Blizzard, and King. King makes Candy Crush. They're the mobile division. So at the top of each of these little bars, we got their total revenue. So let's look over there. So Activision had 209 million, Blizzard had 394 million, and King is sitting at 500 million. Now that's the only revenue. If we look at operating income, this is after their expenses, 26 million only for Activision, barely broke even, little ahead. 74 million for Blizzard and 194 million for King. That means that King, the Candy Crush guys, made more than double what Activision and Blizzard made combined. And I find that amazing. So there were people a couple of years ago that were kind of questioning Activision Blizzard paying like billions for King, but it's clearly was the wise move because now King is carrying the whole company.
Yeah, when you buy Activision Blizzard, when you invest in Activision Blizzard, the company, what you're really buying is King. You're investing in Candy Crush. This whole Blizzard, this Warcraft, this Call of Duty, it's a rounding error. The biggest and most successful franchises in this company are Candy Crush. Candy Crush makes more money than Activision and Blizzard combined times 2. It makes twice as much money as both Blizzard and Activision combined. That is insane, boys.
Now, it should be noted this is only for this third quarter. And this third quarter doesn't count Call of Duty. So Call of Duty came out in the fourth quarter. So I'm sure,
it doesn't matter. King will make more money than both combined. We're at double right now. So yeah, it'll close the gap a bit. Yes. But look at the margins. King has a 39% operating margin. So about 39% of the spend in Candy Crush falls right to that sweet bottom line. Versus Blizzard is 19% and Activision is 12%.
You know what? I want to see a Warcraft Candy Crush clone. Like you have like orcs, you have 3 orc heads combined, and then they all disappear.
I mean, generally, canaries for any software companies, gaming companies we consider software. You should have higher margins than like at least 20%. But as long as you're in the green, as long as you're still making profit, it's still good. But it just shows you it makes the profit margin on mobile games for at least for King is so much higher.
Exactly. Someone in chat there. That's right there. See, in the future we're gonna be combining 3 heads, 3 orc heads. That's gonna be Warcraft 4 right there. Okay.
Warcraft 4 is gonna be a match 3 Warcraft game. All right, it's happening. Activision Blizzard is not losing money, Malicious Black. I don't know what you're smoking. The stock price is down, obviously, but that's relative. That's the value of their market cap. They're still wildly profitable. So I don't know where you're getting where you think they're losing money. This is all public information. So since you mentioned that, we can look at the actual. I think I linked to it actually in that article. So if you click on bring it up. Somebody said that they're losing money. Let's go prove them wrong on stream. Click that source, Altai.
Click the source. All right.
Click the source. Scroll down to page 4.
Page 4.
Third quarter results. Q3 GAAP revenues of $1.28 billion, exceeding their estimates of $1.11 billion. GAAP earnings per share of 26 cents versus guidance of 5 cents. By the way, if your GAAP earnings per share is positive, you are in that sweet, sweet net income territory. Q3 net book is 1.2 billion.
Yeah, EPS means earnings per share. So for every stock out there, they made 26 cents. So that's a profit.
Yeah, so we're talking millions and millions of dollars in profit. We give hundreds of millions of dollars. I'll get the actual number from their financial statements. Their actual, let's see, total net income for the quarter is going to be $204 million for the last 3 months. So they're quite in the positive over there. Stock price has been down since last BlizzCon, but we'll see where that ends up in the future. I'm pretty sure, despite all the hate, I think Diablo Immortal is going to make some sweet, sweet China bucks.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Diablo Immortal might have some competition depending on when it comes out. I want to talk about this a little bit. Path of Exile had a huge announcement, too, while we were gone. So they announced Path of Exile 2, which is... I don't like the name, to be honest, because it's still Path of Exile. It's just a second campaign. Second 7-act campaign. So when this comes out, basically you're going to have the option to play the current campaign, which is 10 acts, or the second campaign, which is 7 acts. But more interestingly, a mobile version was announced. And this mobile version, they say, is a Path of Exile with no compromises. And I think they're competing directly with Diablo Immortal with this. Because Tencent owns Path of Exile. Diablo Immortal is being developed by NetEase. So I think they want to go head-to-head in China with these two games.
Yeah. So it is weird because, like you said, it's 2 different campaigns, and apparently they both meet up at the same shared experience at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, so at the end, it's basically just one big update. So the name itself, very confusing. I'm not sure why they chose to go with that.
Maybe it's the Chinese influence. Because, in China, they randomly put a 2.
They do. Big updates, they'll just stop like a 2 at the end. Like the Perfect World 2, but it's the same game. It's confusing. China does weird things like that. There was also a big update for Path of Exile 1, I think in December 3 or 4, early December. Another big update to the game, the Metamorph League, plus the
Conquerors of the Atlas. Yep.
Yes, big expansion coming for it too. And I'm sure it's going to do well. I mean, almost every expansion for Path of Exile, I look at my Steam list, all my buddies who used to play Path of Exile, they all jump back in. So it's a game that you can kind of play with every big update. And the good thing about the mobile version too, they said it wasn't going to be pay to win. And when Grind the Year game says it's not going to be pay to win, they pretty much lived up to that standard for the PC version. So I kind of believe them at this point. They are the dream devs. They're being legit when they say not pay to win. So good for them.
So they said the Path of Exile 2 will probably not come out until... The beta won't even come out until end of 2020. So we probably won't see a release until 2021. But that still, I think, will way beat Diablo 4. Diablo 4, I think Blizzard was kind of forced to announce it because they had such a bad,
reception last year.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys at Diablo 4 specifically said this game is nowhere near, release.
They got years to go for that battle.
My guess is at least 3 years away. What do you think? So we have a long road for Diablo 4. I think Path of Exile 2 will come out way before before Diablo 4.
So mention Overwatch 2. So yeah, Path of Exile 2 is just like Overwatch 2. I didn't quite get the Overwatch 2 thing either. It felt very weird, didn't it?
Yeah, they're gonna merge into the main client eventually. I don't know.
It's because they want to make more money, but they pigeonhole themselves into saying, "Oh, if you buy Overwatch 1, you'll never have to pay for new heroes and new maps. That's always going to be included." By saying that, they kind of force themselves to make Overwatch 2 because they weren't making enough money from the loot boxes that they wanted to sell you another retail copy of the game, and they have to live up to their previous promise. And I guess they didn't want to screw over the fact that by dividing their player base, so they made basically upgraded graphics and some story content. They're going to charge you money for it, and of course, they're cross-play compatible, and all the same heroes are going to be available in both. So it's very weird that they chose to go that route. If they went with the League of Legends route where they charge you money for heroes, I think people would be okay with it at the end. The cinematic, of course. I mean, they've always done really good cinematics for Overwatch, so 100%. It looks beautiful. Even the Diablo 4 cinematic was kind of cool too. All right,
what's up?
Have you heard of Have you heard of this game? I've been seeing ads for it on MMOs.com. It's called Battle Breakers.
Let's see. What is this?
An awesome new RP. I think it's an Epic Games
Epic.
developed.
Yeah.
I've been seeing ads on MMOs.com, so I clicked into it out of curiosity. And it's an Epic Games developed mobile game.
I think it's mobile and PC actually.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. Let me check.
Oh, you're right. Download. Also available on Android and iOS. It's cross-platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw this thing, the first thing my eyes gravitated towards on this page is that, see the official gameplay trailer, and this drives me insane. It says official gameplay trailer, right, guys? Let's see some gameplay in this official gameplay trailer. Put it on out there. Let's see some gameplay.
Oh, we're seeing. Oh, wait, there's some right here. Let's go back. Right. So you got a few seconds of it. Here, look. It looks like a mobile.
You literally only see the gameplay for a few seconds at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like literally 3 seconds of gameplay at the end.
What is this? It's like some mobile turn-based thing.
Canaris, don't give me that, Canaris. Look at this. Scroll down over here, guys. Do you see an awesome new RPG? Official gameplay trailer, it says, right beneath it. All right? It says official gameplay trailer. And once you click into it, the YouTube video is called official launch trailer. On the splash page itself, it says official gameplay trailer.
It does, right here. Yeah, it does.
Very clearly.
See right here.
So they're just lying. If this is a launch trailer, that's fine. But don't call this a gameplay trailer. They snuck in 2 seconds of gameplay at the end, but that's it.
I mean, I might try this. I don't know why Epic made this, but if it's on PC, I might as well. Actually, you know what? I'll probably try it on my phone. It's probably easier.
Yeah, I kind of want to try it too, only because it's Epic Games. I mean, I'm probably not going to like it because I have not really liked a lot of mobile games. I've tried a lot, but I really haven't stuck with any of them. Though I do want to give Dragalia Lost a real chance because I know Shirley's been playing a lot of Dragalia Lost and she's trying to rope me into it, insisting that I'm going to like it. So I do want to give it a better shake.
Better shake.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this game is only interesting because it's Epic Games. I'm kind of curious what they got going on, even though they really haven't had a good first-party game since like Fortnite, I guess. A lot of their first-party games have been a complete disaster. Oh. It's amazing that company they've launched so many misses, right? It's either this is such a hit or miss business because even that new Unreal Tournament game was like kind of a disaster. Did they shut it down, or is that just like a demo still running?
I don't know.
They had that MOBA as well. What was that called? I'll tell you, they shut down.
Paragon.
That one 3D
Paragon. They shut down.
They shut down, but then they got Fortnite, and it was a huge success. So
Paragon sucked, and we said it, and then we got some blowback. People saying, "Oh, it's actually really good. You don't know what you're doing."
No,
it sucked. I
didn't like it.
They knew it sucked. They shut it down. Vindicated. It sucked.
It did suck.
All right. You gotta stick to your guns.
I think it sucked too. I tried to like it, but didn't do it for me.
No soul. It was just like these sci-fi generic assets.
Play Smite instead. Play Smite. More soul.
It didn't. It had nice graphics in terms of like the quality of the graphics, but the art style was just so generic. Nothing stood out. It was just bland.
Yeah, I agree. It feels generic.
But Paragon, Smite might not be a better game, but at least things stand out. Like the characters stand out.
Gary the Giraffe, I'm gonna disagree. I don't think it was masturbatable. I think if your game is masturbatable, it's a good sign of your game. It'll help your game succeed. All right, but those characters were not. I don't know, dude. I mean, you gotta really try hard to masturbate to the graphics in Paragon. Ain't doing it for me. Ain't doing it for Remo.
You know, Xbox also had a big announcement while we were gone.
Announcements this week.
First off, Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox. Did you hear about that?
Yes, but we kind of talked about this months ago. Where what's his name? The Xbox guy said they're going to work to make it happen. I think they basically restated the same thing from months ago.
More importantly, guys, KartRider is coming.
Ooh, that's a big one.
KartRider's coming to Xbox, boys, and PC.
I'm actually hyped for that.
Yeah, me too.
PC as well,
me too. This was this is a huge game in Korea. Nexon kind of teased it here 15 years ago.
They released it. We played it. It was a beta here.
It was a beta here, but then they didn't shut it down.
Yeah, I'm hyped for KartRider.
Yeah, me too.
On PC.
Yeah,
I'm hyped for KartRider on PC. It's basically Mario Kart on the PC.
Yeah.
And you would think with how big of a game Mario Kart is, why has anybody else made a Mario Kart on PC? It seems so obvious. Anyone can play it. It's wacky. It was fun. I really liked I really liked KartRider back in the day. Armored Core. I remember that. Monty Blanc. I played Armored Core on the PS2 back in the day.
Good stuff. I am looking forward to KartRider, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. All right. The Zone of the Enders Armored Core. There you go. The game is so popular in South Korea. Honestly, it's also really popular in China now too. There's a mobile KartRider came out in China and it's doing really, really well apparently. KartRider Pog, hell yeah. We had a lot of big announcements this week, guys.
So I think there's a game you put a story up for. I haven't played it yet. I'm curious what you guys think of Project Arena. This is a mobile slash PC crossplay MMORPG that looks like
MapleStory 2 clone.
But why? Who asked for this?
So that's a good question, Altai. Who did ask for that?
I feel like if you're gonna clone MapleStory, clone the more popular one. You know, MapleStory 1.
How generic of a project? Or honestly, it's very generic. It might be like a placeholder name, but it's just funny that how much it looks like MapleStory.
Yeah,
from the UI
I don't get
to the graphics. I don't get it either. What are they doing?
Clone MapleStory 1, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't got it. It looks so much like MapleStory 2. Like even like the subtle things, you know, like not just the graphic style, but like the boss designs of the, I don't know.
Namno's asking the real question though. Does it have an end game? Which is the problem with MapleStory 2.
You just run the same dungeon like 50 times trying to get to one piece of gear.
Yeah, there you go. Lord FOE asking the important things. F MapleStory 3. I'm waiting for Freestyle 3. Hell yeah, dude. Yo, I have 100 hours clocked into Freestyle. I know obviously it's not that much compared to other people, but I played a lot of Freestyle 1 back in the day as well. All right? I'm an OG Freestyle street basketball player. All right, great game. When is PUBG 2?
Oh, I have some bad news, guys. So, I think last year at G Star, Nexon said they were working on a kind of their version of Monster Hunter. Do you guys remember this Dragon Hound?
Vaguely.
Well, they canceled it. It's gone. It's dead.
Another Nexon canceled game. Rest in pepperoni. I think actually in the Nexon earnings report they did mention a few other games are coming soon. I mean, I don't know if we showed this slide last time, but you can see they got some stuff on there. All right, they got Final Fantasy 11 mobile. How is that going to work? Have we heard anything on that yet?
No.
I'm curious because like Final Fantasy 11 is not a good UI game. I don't see how that translates to mobile. But if they can make a good version, like if Nexon or if anyone can make a good mobile MMORPG that doesn't feel like autoplay nonsense, they can make money. I think they're already making money with autoplay nonsense too. But like, I would love to play a good mobile MMORPG that it's not autoplay.
Do you think Black Desert mobile has a chance in the West or no?
I'm not optimistic. I think it's gonna be just like Lineage. Like it really felt like Lineage 2 Revolution.
Boo.
I played the Korean version. It's basically Lineage 2 Revolution, but with a better character creator. You got more options of character creation. Graphics are a little bit better. But the game, I mean, Lineage 2 Revolution is still a huge hit in South Korea. I think Black Desert Mobile is still a huge hit in Korea and Japan as well. So Black Desert Mobile is doing well in both Japan and Korea, but I don't think Lineage 2 Revolution is doing particularly well in NA. I'm kind of curious where it is because I know when it launched, they spent so much money trying to make Lineage 2 Revolution a thing. Let me see. Let's see. Do you think it's in top 500 Altai? In NA?
In NA? 500 games or apps?
No, all-time grossing.
Ooh. No.
It's not. That's remarkable. Lineage does not show up at all on the top 500 highest grossing iOS games list. But you have games like Garena Free Fire, Spooky Night, you have Star Trek Fleet Command, Jackpot Magic Slots Casino is on this list, Altai. But you don't have Lineage 2 Revolution. So it's remarkable how much that game fell off the radar. Is it even playable still in the West? Or did it shut down?
It must be playable.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money promoting this game. Let me see if I can find it. I'm curious. I'm sure it's still playable. I feel again they spent way too much money to shut it down. Yeah, it's still on here. Dragon Hound honestly looked pretty bad. I saw the trailer. There wasn't really too much to go off of there. But yeah, it's. I think we're gonna get the same reception in the West from Black Desert.
I got yet another announced mobile MMO for you because there's so many of these. This one is based on the Ni no Kuni world.
Yeah, this one looked really pretty actually.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
And it looks good graphically, but I'm just scared gameplay wise it's gonna be the same nonsense. It looks pretty. That's all I got going for that one. You know, there's not much else to work on.
Yeah, it looks really pretty.
World of Tanks Blitz apparently is still big on mobile.
This kind of gives me some vibes for the other canceled Nexon game. What was it called? The one that kind of looks like
Parry Chronicles.
Yeah, this kind of gives me Parry Chronicles vibes.
Although, can you guess the most popular mobile game in USA? Most highest revenue generating mobile game?
Probably Clash of Clans or something.
Candy Crush, baby.
Yeah.
Candy Crush.
Should have guessed.
We were just talking about how much money
should have guessed.
King was making. Candy Crush, boys, is minting that sweet bucks. I don't understand how. I don't get it. What I don't get is why is Toon Blast number 11 on this list, which is the Candy Crush clone. Makes no sense. What is the top 5? Alta, do you have App Annie? They can see it too.
I have to like log in here. You can just screen cap it.
All right. You guys, let me say they're just games, so we can get you know, ignore all the other nonsense. Let's take a look. I'm gonna screen cap the top grossing games, and this is today, and this is only in USA. All right, I'll link it to you. FGO is popular. FGO is huge, but not in America. FGO is not popular in America. It is very popular in Japan. Makes over $1 billion a year because of its success in China and Japan. In the West, I think Fake Grand Order is like number 250 or something.
All right, so Clash of Clans was number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Homescapes is number 2.
I
don't know what that is. I think I've seen someone play this. I think you just design a house, like a layout. Toon Blast, representing Turkey, baby. All right, good job. Good job, Turkey. You're on the list. Gardenscapes is number 5. I guess that's like Homescapes.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones Conquest is number what, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Good job, Turbine. Turbine saved themselves with that one.
I can't believe Mafia City is so popular still. It's on this list further down. I like the Canaris, the one for Netherlands. Candy Crush is number 1 in Netherlands still. I don't understand how Guns of Glory, Empires Conquer. Anyone plays these games. It's another mobile pay-to-win strategy game. There's nothing to it. It's a Chinese mobile strategy game that's awful. Mafia City is like number 10 in Netherlands, which I think just is not a good sign for Netherlands. If this game, if you look at the countries, and you can judge the quality of the taste of the population based on the highest grossing games of that country. All right. Isn't that also a affiliation? Is that also a pay-to-win strategy game? Isn't that a pay-to-win strategy game? Okay, Alta, look at this picture. I'm looking at the game of this guy, Rise of Kingdoms. Do you see something wrong with this? Why is this guy's head so big versus the rest of his body?
What do you mean? Why is his head so small?
So small. It's so small.
His head is tiny.
Yeah, this is weird. This was the picture in the Rise of Kingdoms game page on here. It's very odd. Honestly, you know, we talk about Asians, like Chinese players having shit taste. I think Americans have worse taste in mobile games than Koreans and Japanese and Chinese. Honestly, like some of these, we have the absolute shit of the shit in our highest grossing list. The only good game on the list I linked to all earlier was probably Roblox. Everything else is like some pay to win nonsense. Like I still rather play like Lineage 2 Revolution or Black Desert Mobile than any of those mobile pay to win strategy games or match 3 games. It's a little exaggerated, inflation, just a little bit. Wow, Isaiah 12 says he dropped almost 2,000 in FGO. So it came in left. Look, that they're designed to get you. All right. And listen, Isaiah, if you've at least played Fake Grand Order for 2,000 hours, you're fine. All right, $1 an hour is okay cost of entertainment. All right. So if you got some good value out of it, if you played the game enough, it's okay. Do you think WoW will ever go mobile, Altai? There will be a World of Warcraft mobile for sure.
Yes, there should be.
I mean, autoplay version of WoW in mobile. Why not, right?
Definitely. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny though? Okay, so Diablo Immortal, I think it's a joke because it's being outsourced to Netmarble or NetEase, right? So it's kind of I feel like it's kind of shameful for Blizzard. But if Blizzard themselves make a mobile game, I think we as players should at least be we shouldn't attack it right away, like we did with Diablo Immortal. I think Diablo Immortal deserves the hate it got because they just outsourced one of their key franchises to some bullshit Chinese company. But if they do it themselves, we should at least give it a chance. We shouldn't attack it immediately.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We got to embrace mobile gaming, boys. All right, we're just boomers over here, hanging on to our playing WoW Classic. I'm playing Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. We're playing Warcraft 3 every night, Altai. In 2K19, we're playing Warcraft 3 on BNet. All right, we're playing tower defense games on BNet. We're stuck in the past. I mean, kick FFXIV. I mean, everyone's playing on mobile nowadays, though. I mean, they're gonna go there. I'm always gonna prefer playing on my giant 27-inch monitor, but the world has left us behind. All right, I got a shitty Kickstarter, but we could save it for the post game because it's not MMO related.
All right, well, that's a good point to leave off then. So we'll be back to our regularly scheduled weekly appearances here, guys. Thanks for sticking with us during this long hiatus. And stick around, and we can bash Kickstarter.
I love it.
All right,
later for YouTube.
Peace.